Hello and welcome to our last episode of Mojo TV for 2016. I'm Georgia Gibson.
And I'm Matt Johnson. Paralympic cyclist Carol Cook has been left reeling after her 2 Rio gold medals were stolen in the early hours of Wednesday morning. After parking a car outside the Victorian Institute of Sport in Albert Park to go for a training ride, she received word shortly after from VIS staff that it had been broken into. Thieves made off with an official Paralympics bag that contained wallets, other valuables and the prized medals. They were won in the T1, T2 time trial and road race events and followed the Canadian-born Australian's gold medal winning performance in the London time trial 4 years ago. The morning's events were like a string of coincidences. The reason she brought the medals with her was because Mojo TV was going to talk to her about her experience in Rio. She had also contemplated parking a car at St Kilda instead of Albert Park, and it was her first Wednesday training run since the returning from the Paralympics. Now what we're about to play is audio from an interview I had with her, which she graciously agreed to shortly after the discovery. She recounts the morning's ordeal, then discusses what the medals mean in her role as an ambassador for people living with multiple sclerosis.
I got a text message at about 5 to 8 from Westpac saying that one of my cards ending in the 4 numbers had been tried to be used. Had I done it, it was for $1,000, and I thought, oh dear. That's not good. So I said no, so they put a block on my cards and I rode back here and the staff was standing waiting for me and said, have you seen your car? And I had left my Rio Paralympic team backpack jammed down in the front well of the passenger side of the car, covered with a VIS jacket, and it was gone. There really is nothing I can do. And yeah, I almost cried when I rocked up to the car on my trike, and I thought, oh, I know it's gone. You know, I knew right then, and my heart just dropped. And there was, the verge of a few tears, and I thought, well, what can you do? You know?
Yeah, I know you've certainly had a lot of resilience in your career as well. That's, I guess, something that really has defined you in your sort of approach to the sport. Is that, I guess, where that sense of, relative calmness on the outside has come from this morning?
Yeah, I'd say the resilience in me, probably. But I'm the type of person that, well, if something happens and you've got nothing, there's nothing that you can do. You know, it's like in a race. You know, you can only control the controllables, and this is something I can't control. It's something that somebody's done, and so I just have to go forward here. I love sharing those medals. I'm not a person that puts them away or hides them away to keep them pristine. My London medal, very manky looking right now because it's been through thousands of hands. And that's the sad part, is I don't have those medals now to share with, the 1,000 kids that that I would share over the next couple of years. So it is gut-wrenching. It's not like they can't sell them. They can't. What are they going to do with them? It's got the event marked on the bottom of both of them. They're brand new. It's Rio 2016. It's not like they're really old medals, so they would have to realize that oh geez, somebody would be looking for these. So you hope that the criminal, if he sees them, would have some little bit of a heart and either drop them off at a police station or just pop them into the Institute of Sport, just with the bag, just throw it in. They're not good for anybody else.
Was it like a noticeable difference in your experiences in London and Rio? And do they both have very distinct sort of memories attached?
Very different memories. London was more a celebration of all things Paralympic, where Rio was more just go to Rio and do the business. The business end. It didn't come across as a real party atmosphere. To people I'm talking to, you got to have the courage to take a chance on change, because we're all so scared of change. And I mean, my life has changed so many times over my lifetime that if I hadn't had that courage to say, okay, well, this is a bad change, like when I was diagnosed, this is a really bad thing. But a lot of good has come from it. So I always say I would never change the fact that I was diagnosed with MS, because it's given me so many opportunities that I never ever would have had. So that in itself, bad change can always be some good change. So I had to actually use those words with the changing my tactics for the road race. I had to have that courage. I tell you, I got it to the start line, and the nervousness that I've never felt before, because I'm never usually nervous when I get to the start line, and I was so nervous because I was doing something completely different. But I had to have that courage to take a chance that the change that I was going to do was going to work, and in the end it proved that it had.
Now, if you have any details which could lead to the whereabouts of Carol's medals, you can contact Victoria Police or the Australian Paralympic team at media@paralympic.org.au.
The food truck trend has taken off in Melbourne, and there are now trucks exclusively for our four-legged friends. Offering healthy plates for pooches, they aim to bring dogs the same dining experience that their owners have on a night out. Yi Chong Shang went to check it out.
Ooh, look at that, Murphy. Okay, you ready? Here we are.
This furry mate seems to need another refill on her drink, which is one of the special treats from the newly launched Melbourne's first food truck for dogs, Canine Wellness Kitchen. With this food truck, when people are enjoying themselves eating at markets or festivals, their dogs wouldn't miss out the same experience. Made with raw meat and bones, seasoned fruits and vegetables, the treats are priced at about $3 to $5 separately, or $10 for a pack. Having rolled out at North Melbourne and Thornbury, the dog-only truck has got many responses.
To have a truck for them, I think it's great, and it's a healthy food.
I think these people are making a big effort to prepare something that's really good for a dog, so that's good.
I personally wouldn't use it. It seems a bit excessive for a dog.
When people have different reactions to Canine Wellness Kitchen, the owner of this dog food truck says happy faces of customers make everything worth it.
You know, as long as we can bring that experience and that smile and laughter for the owner to have with their dog, we're on a winner.
More details of the truck schedule can be found at Canine Wellness Kitchen Facebook page. Yi Chong Shang, Monash News.
The greyhound industry has been in the public eye and under scrutiny for alleged live baiting and breeding regulations. Will Zwar went to Sandown Racecourse to see what has been going on and how the industry has responded.
The Australian greyhound racing industry has recently been under public scrutiny as a result of multiple inquiries into the treatment of animals in the past 18 months. A Four Corners report showed what goes on behind closed doors, with defenceless piglets, possums and rabbits used as bait for the dogs. However, the industry is rebounding to these claims and uniting in order to preserve the longevity of the industry.
Look, most people don't live bait and never have live baited. All you need really is a little squeaker and education right from the start when you've got little puppies. You know, get out in the yard, kick a soccer ball, kick a football, have squeakers. If you watch little pups from 6 weeks old, they'll chase a butterfly. They've got natural chase in them.
People within the industry believe that the greyhounds enjoy the sport and enjoy the running, something that Sasha Purcell agrees with. While her dog, Poppy, is now getting old and sick, it hails from a racing background and used to be full of energy.
When she started running, you could tell why she was bred to race. She's so fast.
Mick Floyd of the Sandown Race Club says that the reports have led to improvements to the integrity of the industry and the welfare of the animals.
I think the industry's certainly on notice. I don't think there's an immediate threat. Certainly in Victoria, a lot of the changes have been made in the last 18 months and beyond for that matter. At the moment there's a lot of things being developed in terms of codes of practice and best practice for greyhound education and racing, and there's a lot of reviews both internally and externally that have taken place and continue to take place. So in terms of ensuring the longer term success and viability of the industry, obviously it's important that those practices are followed. The industry and its participants need to be a part of the solution, but also you need a bit of that external force, I guess, the external oversight to make sure that the rules are followed properly.
The Race Club has opened its facilities at Sandown for the public to use to help everyone abide by the rules.
Sandown's in a fortunate position where we've got the resources and the land to be able to put those facilities in, so that was a part of the reason. Also, we want to make sure that best practice is always followed, and we can do that with the facilities on track here. So being open and transparent and accountable for all aspects is an important part of it, and being the shop front here at Sandown, we have big crowds for some of the bigger events here and also non-racing events as well. So being able to put that in the public face and show people what actually happens is an important part of it as well. They're open to the public, so anyone can come along and have a look.
One inquiry found that approximately 17,000 healthy dogs are killed each year. This is because there are not enough homes to take them in, or they are simply not good enough to race. leading to questions over the breeding regulations and practices in the sport.
The education around breeding and not just breeding but the rearing and breaking in process and getting dogs to the racetrack is an area that we can certainly improve on, and what we find is that dogs that go through the right process at the start of their career make better pets at the end of their career as well. So that's certainly an area that we can do a lot better as an industry, and Greyhound Racing Victoria and its clubs and participants are certainly working hard to get to there.
Sandown is also helping with the rehoming process of the dogs, with the help of the Greyhound Adoption Program.
We're strong supporters of the GAP program. We have a couple of resident greyhounds here during race meetings, so we give every opportunity for trainers and owners to come along and get the dog through the process. We try and support it where we can, and hopefully that has some more greyhounds riding at home at the end.
However, if a proposed ban had gone ahead, it could have been catastrophic for the industry.
Talking hypotheticals, I guess now it's not there. So, but if it was a blanket ban, it would have created a lot of issues, and a lot of dogs wouldn't have had homes. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of money to be made for a lot of people. It's a hobby for many in the industry, and if you take that racing opportunity away and you take that income away, obviously it becomes harder to keep the dogs.
It is an income for a lot of people, and a lot of people could be out of a job, and lots of greyhounds would probably be killed as a result.
So long as the industry sticks to regulations and remains educated, greyhound racing is set to remain a strong and successful sport in the years to come. Will Zwa, Mojo TV.
The Dandenong Festival of Lights combines traditional Chinese culture with an Australian twist. The festival saw a major decrease in visitors from their first year in 2015, and with doors now closed, Gerard Ascach-Falk found out what is in store in the future.
The weather conditions in Melbourne haven't helped Dandenong's Festival of Lights. The organisers expected to beat the almost 60,000 visitors from last year's edition, but it wasn't possible.
It's sad, and we'd hope to better that this year, but the Melbourne weather has been absolutely atrocious this spring, and as a result we're probably only going to do half that by the time the event finishes this coming Sunday.
Next year's edition will change its location to another Australian city, probably Adelaide.
We're certainly preparing for future events. I'm not sure that we'll come back here to Dandenong.
Those people who did attend the Melbourne event this year saw a celebration of Chinese culture mixed with Australia. They even installed some kangaroos and koalas so they can approach another culture tradition to more people.
But not all the traditions happen in the suburbs of Melbourne. Chinatown in the city's CBD also celebrates the Chinese New Year and the Moon Festival.
A place where you can find more information about Chinese culture is the Chinese Museum. Placed in the center of Chinatown, the museum is part of a world record.
This Chinatown is actually the second oldest after San Francisco.
Last February, this part of the city celebrated the Chinese New Year, where the museum helped in the organization of the tradition.
Well, we help put on the Chinese New Year celebrations. So every year we actually get our processional dragons out and we do parades in Chinatown. And usually it's quite a big affair.
The dragon is one of the most important symbols in the Chinese culture, and you can see some of them in the museum or even in the Festival of Lights. But for now, the festival has already switched off its lights in Melbourne, but organizers are not giving up on the city completely. They say they will be back in 2 years. Gerard Ascach reporting for Mojo TV.
Our very own Monash Warriors have taken out the championship in the Men's Division 1 Gridiron Vic Bowl. The Warriors took down the Western Crusaders 16-12 for the title in a thrilling contest at Lakeside Stadium earlier this month. The heavy rain and windy conditions meant that the game would be decided by which team had the better running game. The Warriors' star running back, Luke Jackson, took charge of the game, leading the team in rushing yards and paving the way for the Warriors' 11th title since 2000.
The video game industry has taken a turn with the release of the new PlayStation VR, a virtual reality headset that allows gamers to not only play their favourite games, they can be in them too. Here's Matt Hoy with more.
Video games, the fast developing entertainment that is quickly taking over our imagination and living rooms. Even with dominant gaming titles such as FIFA, NBA 2K and Gears of War all releasing their latest instalments to their franchises recently, it's another platform that has taken the gaming world by storm. Virtual reality. I caught up with gaming expert and YouTuber Will Ramsey, who explained how the immersive new gaming concept of virtual reality has become the latest craze in gaming.
Yeah, people are always looking for like big graphics and big open world games, and VR kind of enhances that experience.
Vive and PlayStation VR are leading the charge, selling over 40 million units worldwide since release. The headset allows you to step into a virtually created world, literally. The controllers become the tools you need to navigate your way through the digitally created reality, and the rest is up to you. Titles like Batman Arkham VR, Resident Evil 7 and Battlezone are already on the market, allowing gamers to take the reins as Gotham's vigilante, or even fight a zombie apocalypse with their own hands.
So it's a frustrating period to be working with all this stuff, because even though it's really fun and exciting, we sort of know where it's heading and we know that it's going to be that much better.
The immersive new experience is just at the beginning of what is said to be the future of gaming, leaving the industry with seemingly endless possibilities of creating new and exciting content. But why is it so good? Simple. It's different.
It's just like an entirely new conscious reality experience. Like, we only really know dreaming and the waking state, and VR, to me anyway, is like a whole new reality. It's a whole new experience. You find yourself in a world.
The PlayStation has been out for a while now. However, with the latest release of the PlayStation VR, players will be ditching these for these.
The new gaming systems come at a price, with the HTC Vive selling for about $900, while the PlayStation VR can be bought for around $550. For hardcore gamers and newcomers alike, it's definitely a price worth paying. Matt Hoy, Mojo TV.
Mojo TV's last venue on the menu is the Brunswick Hotel. The Brunny was a self-proclaimed dive bar back in 2009, but as Matthew Andreazza found out, it isn't one anymore.
It's yet another beautiful spring day in Melbourne, and the Brunswick Hotel is yet another music venue housed inside an old-looking building in Melbourne's northern suburbs. Getting to the Brunny is easy. A tram will take you right to its doorstep from the city, and Jules Station on the Upfield line is only a short walk away. Good luck finding a parking spot on Sydney Road if you plan on driving though. Ever since the Brunny changed hands 7 years ago, it's been buzzing with activity.
We tend to get a lot more of the heavier stuff in here, because obviously it attracts more of a drinking crowd, but we give everything a go,
The Brunny hosts a number of regular events. Mondays alternate between comedy and poetry, and every Wednesday is an open mic night. The events are all free, and a lot of the gigs are too, as part of the Brunny's efforts to give everyone a shot. Frankie's been here since the changeover, and he's always seen the Brunswick Hotel as a place for bands to get started and hone their skills.
It's all about giving the young bands a place to play and, start somewhere.
That's the Brunny's events covered. What about the venue itself?
The Brunswick Hotel absolutely oozes personality. Although it looks like so many other old Melbourne buildings from the outside, its vividly decorated interior is timeless.
If the hotel gets too crowded for your liking, the beer garden out back is a nice change of pace. It's spacious and has a great atmosphere, and all the important bits are undercover. The stage out here is normally manned by a DJ, and it's right next to another bar. Inside, there are arcade machines and a pool table next to the Brunny's main bar. The bar has a good range of booze, but if you're looking for a feed, you'll have to settle for a packet of chips. The main stage is in the best place it could be considering the venue's layout. It's right next to the bar and leaves just enough room for a small crowd of people. There's a dedicated sound tech, a fantastic sound system, a smoke machine, and a lighting system that allows for some awesome audio-visual synergy. The Brunny is also just a really chill place to hang out.
Everything's easy, it's all about the music here, and it's not pretentious.
Earl split up about half a decade ago due to conflict with an old bandmate, but now the three closest members are back together. Where else would they pick for their reunion show?
Like, the first thing we wanted to do once we got back in the rehearsal studio was book in at the Brunny. Yeah, we've all played, and I've played here with other bands, and you've done solo work here.
I've been drunk here a lot.
You've been drunk here a lot.
Yeah.
And it was our home away from home for many years, and we're going to make it the same thing again.
In the relatively short time it's been around, the Brunswick Hotel has created a venue, an atmosphere, and an entire microculture that is built to last. That's no small task. Matthew Andreazza, Mojo TV.
Earlier this semester, we held our first ever Mojo News Awards night to recognise the great contributions in 2016. Matt Barmer wraps up the evening.
Monash University's Journalism Department celebrated a stunning year of work at the inaugural Mojo Awards night held at Bobby McGee's on Friday, September 23rd. The night saw esteemed guests such as the Today Show's Melbourne Bureau Chief, Fenella Wagner, esteemed Herald Sun journalist Andrew Rule, and was emceed by one of Australia's most experienced journalists, Lawrence Money.
Having been a journo now 50 years from the day I left school, I still get excited about this profession. What I'll say tonight is it is a wonderful craft going through a lot of crisis, but out of the crisis comes a lot of opportunities.
Whoever wins, I'm going to be absolutely stoked for them because everyone this year has just put in they've put their heart and soul into this, and I think it's just going to be it's going to be a real celebration of just whoever's won, whoever's been nominated. It's just a celebration of all those people who've really contributed to Mojo this year.
The night saw 38 students nominated in 15 categories, with the nominees and award winners presented with certificates from the guest speakers.
But the winner of the Most Valuable Contributor category, Corinna Lagerberg.
Mojo News' editor, Corinna Lagerberg, closed the evening, thanking all of those who have been involved in what has been a wonderful year for Mojo News.
I'd like to start by congratulating all the finalists and award winners here tonight. We received a very long list of entries for each category, all of which could rightly be called outstanding. However, the students that were recognised tonight are truly a testament to the incredible talent we have in our midst.
Matt Barmer reporting for Mojo TV.
That is all we have time for today and for the rest of this year.
Thank you to everyone who made Mojo TV possible, and we hope to see you again next year. Goodbye.